I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Kenny. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. And give an F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. And I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I ain't been clean since Eden.
What's going on, guys? Welcome into the WAG show. This is episode 29. It is Thursday, March 23rd. I am your host, Ben Hostler. We are here to talk about today's best bets. If you're in the stream, like the video, Travis, I see you in the chat. Sweet 16 starts tonight. It works out because there's only 4 basketball games tonight, and there's not a lot going on in the NBA. Typically, I do the injury analysis for NBA, and there was no questionable tags, which I've never seen before, even on a 4-game slate. There's a couple guys out, Paul George, but we did get Mitchell Robinson listed as questionable, but that's the only player tonight on the NBA slate that is his status is up in the air, which is pretty nice because typically, especially at this time of year, we're dealing with 100 different injuries. Yesterday was absolutely insane when it comes to injuries. It was a rough slate yesterday in terms of the injury analysis. But yeah, if you guys missed it, I did a full breakdown of all the Sweet 16 games yesterday. So you can go rewatch that. They don't start till tonight. And then if you want to watch for Friday's games, obviously, you can watch that tonight as well. This will probably be a shorter stream just because there's only 4 NBA games, and I've kind of broken down all the Sweet 16 games. I am going to give out a couple bets, though. I'm curious what you guys are on. So if you're in the chat, post whatever bets you like tonight. We could talk about them. I have one NBA play I like. We're going to try and find something to pair it with for like prize picks, because I have one play I like, but I haven't necessarily found something I want to pair it with. So we're going to look around for that and see if we can figure it out. We'll pull up the prize picks predictor at Bet Karma, show that off, see what it's on for tonight. I do think it agrees with my play for today, which makes me feel good. And we'll talk a little Sweet 16 as well, the bets I like for tonight. So I kind of gave all my picks yesterday for the Sweet 16 games. I like Michigan State tonight. I made a TikTok about it. I like Michigan State tonight. I like UConn tonight. And I'm starting to come around on Florida Atlantic. So I think if you can get it at 5.5, I like FAU plus 5.5. I don't know about money line. I might sprinkle maybe a little bit on the money line, but I'm starting to come around a little bit on FAU. So I think that it's really interesting. Just 4 or 5 days ago, nobody wanted to bet on Tennessee, right? So when I was filling out my bracket live on here, we were kind of breaking it down. And I literally said that the East region, that second round matchup, that was the most interesting part of making your bracket, in my opinion, because I thought that Tennessee would be a short favorite over Duke, yet no one was picking Tennessee in their brackets. No one was picking Tennessee past the second round in their brackets, despite the numbers saying that they had one of the best chances in the region to go to the Final Four. Fast forward, we did get the Duke-Tennessee matchup, and Duke was the public's pick. I mean, no one was on Tennessee. Nobody wanted to bet Tennessee against Duke, and they come out and they bullied Duke for 40 minutes. They beat Duke, and now we fast forward 4 days. Now everyone wants to be on Tennessee. No one wanted to be on Tennessee 4 days ago because Rick Barnes isn't good in March in the tournament, and he's only ever been, I think, to the Elite Eight one time. And now you fast forward 4 days, and literally everybody wants to bet Tennessee over Florida Atlantic. And I don't necessarily know if that's the right decision. I mean, we've made this argument that FAU, they hadn't played anyone prior to the tournament, but they've won their 2 tournament games, and they beat Memphis, a good Memphis team. It was a close game. They won at the end of the game, but they still did beat Memphis. And Memphis 2 weeks ago, I mean, I know Sasser got hurt, but Memphis beat Houston handily a few weeks ago. So I don't think we can discount Florida Atlantic in terms of the teams they've played anymore, because they did beat Memphis on their way to this game. So I think that narrative's kind of out the window. We know they're a very balanced team. They can shoot very well from 3. They're good defensively. They're just as good defensively as they are offensively. They're a very well-rounded team. And when you look at it, a lot of people that I've seen that are on Tennessee are citing FAU needs to make threes, and Tennessee's the number 1 3-point defense. This is the popular take I've seen. And while that is true, it's also important to remember something that the reason I'm saying this is when we did the March Madness bracket preview, myself, Travis, and Dom, prior to the tournament starting, one thing really stuck with me, and it was him talking about how the SEC was historically bad as a whole shooting 3-pointers this season. He brought that up. I don't remember what instance he brought that up for. I think he brought it up when he was talking about Texas A&M, how they play their defense was they dared teams to make threes, and no one in the SEC can make threes this year. And that's why he liked Penn State, and Penn State beat Texas A&M. So I went and looked. Obviously, his analysis was spot on. So can we really take that? Can we take that number 1 3-point defense from Tennessee? Can we really take that to heart, given how bad the conference as a whole was at shooting 3-pointers? I don't think we can. I think we have to take that number 1 ranking with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not saying they're a bad 3-point defense, because they're just a good defensive team, even without Ziegler. But I think them being the number 1 3-point defense against FAU, I think this is a little bit of an overrated number just because of how bad their conference was in terms of making 3-pointers. So I don't necessarily think that it's that terrible of a matchup for FAU tonight. And I'm still fine fading Barnes. I know they beat Duke, but historically this has not been a great coach. So I'm starting to come around a little bit on FAU. And also when you look at Tennessee, when they did face the few teams that did shoot the 3 well, namely Missouri, they struggled. They struggled very badly. So I think this is a better matchup than people are giving credit for FAU. And I also think it's interesting. I saw a trend that the most profitable rounds for underdogs have been the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 rounds. And I think it's interesting that the over-under on this game is pretty low. It's the lowest by far in the Sweet 16 round. So you'll look at the other games: Michigan State, Kansas State, 138.5. Even Arkansas, UConn, which I think is going to be a very defensive game, 139.5. Gonzaga, UCLA, obviously, 145.5. Bama, San Diego State, 137.5. 138.5 for Houston, Miami, 140.5 for Princeton, Creighton, and then 149.5 for Xavier, Texas. This total on this FAU Tennessee game, only 129.5. So with a total being that low, is it really likely that a team is going to win by 6, 7, 8 points? I don't know. I don't know if there's enough possessions to go around in a low-scoring game like that for Tennessee to really pull away and win by 6, 7, 8 points. So over the course of the day, I've really come around to the FAU side of this. Now on FanDuel, it's 4.5 right now. It was 5.5 earlier. I think it was 5 on DK the last time I looked, but I don't know. I'm starting to come around on FAU. I might put a little sprinkle on the money line and just see what happens. But I'm going to be interested to watch that game because I'm starting. A couple people in chat yesterday were really talking about FAU. I'm starting to come around a little bit. So I'll just say that. But overall, Michigan State and UConn, I feel confident. I'm parlaying those two teams together on the money line. That's my favorite bet for today. I find it interesting. A lot of people are like, oh, the public's all over Michigan State, but that's really not the case. More bets have come in on Kansas State than Michigan State, which I find interesting. Public is all over UConn, but I think UConn's a better team. I think UConn and Arkansas are very similar teams, and I talked about it yesterday. I just think UConn's better top to bottom, so not worried about that. But that's kind of my college take for today. Starting to come around a little bit on FAU. I'm going to be rooting for FAU in that game anyways because I have that Final Four ticket on them. So I'll kind of be pulling for them anyways. But I might throw a little sprinkle on the money line for fun. Depending on how the early games go, we'll see. If Michigan State or UConn are losing, I might not be feeling as good. But yeah, we'll see what happens. If you guys have any questions in chat, drop them in. Like I said, this could be a quicker stream today. We'll run through the NBA stuff a little bit, but only 4 games, not a ton going on. Do you guys have any futures tickets alive for college? I think I posted mine in the Discord prior to the tournament, but my biggest ones are on Houston and UConn, so I would really prefer one of those teams to win. But I do have a smaller one on Texas, and then I added a couple days ago. I think it might have been before the Marquette game or right after. I added a small one on Michigan State just in case. I don't think Michigan State can win it all, but I have a Final Four ticket on them anyways. So, I can look at like hedging and stuff if they win tonight. Perfect world, they win tonight and FAU win tonight, and I have a futures ticket on both to make the Final Four, so I don't have to worry about anything. I'm getting money regardless, so that would be perfect world scenario. But let's dive in here. I'm gonna pull up the predictor. If you guys have never seen this tool, this is the Prize Picks Predictor. BetKarma.com. Sign up for it. You'll get access to these projections every single day. All sports. You'll get access to the premium Discord channel. You can join the Discord for free and get the free channels at betkarmachat.com or download the app. Click the chat room link. But if you want the premium channels, sign up. You get the predictor access. You get the premium Discord access. You get the premium staff picks from Spike, myself, all of our other analysts. Spike's been on fire recently. My NBA plays have been doing really well recently as well, which obviously you guys know if you watch this because I give out plays every single day. And we've been winning much more than we've been losing. But for tonight, I have one play I really like. Do you repeat bets? Example, Cavs and Brooklyn played Tuesday. Sometimes. I guess it just depends on the situation. But I really I've always been able to bet through other people or offshore stuff, but betting just went legal in Ohio in January. So I really don't spend a lot of time betting like sides or totals in NBA. I just kind of stick to the props, especially because we have this tool. But I think that there's cases for and against that. I think it's probably it's like a case by case thing. I think depending on the teams, but I haven't researched that specifically to know if there's any sticky trends or anything. But like I said, I have one NBA play I really like tonight. We're gonna try and find something to pair it with. If you guys have an NBA prop you really like tonight, post in the chat, and maybe we'll pick that or something. The play I like tonight, this guy's been balling. I know that the last time I picked him on the stream, it didn't work out well. But I'm going back to the well tonight. We are going to take fantasy points on Prize Picks. We're going to take the over on our boy Nick Richards. His line's 25.5. We have him at 27.5 fantasy points. I think he has 30-point upside tonight against the Pelicans, especially if the game stays close. It's not a super close spread, 9 points, but I do think it might be a little bit closer than that. Maybe the Pelicans pull away late. Richards has been playing very, very well when he's been starting. literally minus the one game that we bet on him, but that's okay because he's going to repay us tonight. And he just got rewarded with a nice contract extension, I think a 3-year deal for the Hornets prior to this game. So a little bit of a narrative. He just got his contract. He's going to come out. He's going to play in loose. I like Nick Richards over his fantasy points, 25.5 tonight. If you cannot bet on Prize Picks or you bet on the books, you don't bet on Prize Picks, you can take his over points plus rebounds. I think it's at 19.5. I would sub that in if you can't bet the Prize Picks line. But if you're on Prize Picks, Nick Richards over fantasy points is my play for today. As far as what we want to pair it with, I'm not sure. Like I said, if you guys have any options that you like, post them in. I'm going to look at some stuff, and then maybe we'll pick one. I'm considering going back to our boy that we've just been riding for like 2 weeks. Levert fantasy score and points is hit 5 of 5. Which one do you like better? I think I'd lead fantasy score if I had to pick one of those. Spike, I'll grab you a pair. All right. There's one I want to look at. Let me see if I can. Let's see how he's rating out here. All right, the predictor does agree with the over, so we might just have to go back to our boy. We've been riding this guy. Have not lost a bet with this guy in it. This guy has been absolute money for us. I think it's like 4 or 5 in a row that he's hit for us, but it's Jalen Williams, our boy from the Thunder. Over 15.5 points, I think looks pretty good. He continues to be aggressive. Even with SGA back playing, continues to be aggressive. If you look at the last month of games, 30 days, he's averaging over 20 points per game, and he's taking double-digit shot attempts pretty much in all those games. He's averaging 13 shot attempts per game. He has a pretty decent matchup, I would say, but I don't even really care about the matchup, to be quite honest with him. As long as he's taking that sort of shot volume, I think he can go over this number. And like typically, I would say the Clippers defense is pretty solid top to bottom, but when you're taking out PG, I do think that affects things a little bit. But regardless, the predictor agrees, and I already kind of was interested. That was the guy I was thinking of, so I'm glad that the predictor agrees. So we might go Jalen Williams over 15.5 points to pair with our Nick Richards fantasy score. Jalen Williams has been good to us. Like, I'm fine just riding Jalen Williams until he inevitably lets us down at some point, but the guy's been an absolute printing press for us. So we're going to rock Jalen Williams tonight. No reason. If it's not broke, don't fix it. No reason to avoid him. Spike likes Franz Wagner PRAs. I don't hate it. I know the guy that's been playing extremely well. Predictor agrees on the over there, 26.5. Have him over 27. You can go Jalen Williams PRAs too if you want, but I like points a little bit better, I think. I like Jalen Williams. Perfect. Someone in chat likes Jalen Williams. I mean, the guy's just been a beast. I don't really think that we need to overthink this. Like, sometimes it's just that simple. Claxton points hit 5 of 5, same team as Tuesday. Yeah, I'm fine with Claxton. I think the matchup's okay. I think some people in Discord were on Claxton the other night, and to your point, it is the same team. Game should be close. Yeah, 2-point spread right now for Knicks Magic. So, yeah, the Franz game should stay close. Only a 4-point spread for the Clippers Thunder. Spike, I think I saw you in Discord say you wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder win tonight. Somehow the tanking Thunder in a playoff spot, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, I guess I've said this all year. Like they've been like, they're just a good team, but they've been staying in games even when they're trying to lose. Like even if they rest SGA, like they've been staying in these games. So Yeah, I won't be shocked if that game's close, only 4-point spread. That's another thing that works in favor of Jalen Williams. But yeah, so I think my top 2 plays for tonight, if you guys are joining late, Nick Richards over 25.5 fantasy points. If you can't bet the fantasy points, you can go over 19.5 points plus rebounds on the books or whatever else you bet on. And then we're going to pair that with Jalen Williams over 15.5 points. Spike also came in the chat here. He likes Franz Wagner over his PRAs, which I'm fine with. The predictor agrees with that as well. And yeah, I mean, that about does it. Like I said, it's going to be a quicker stream today. Only 4 NBA games. We talked a ton yesterday about Sweet 16, but I did give out some college basketball bets. So if you guys want to go back to the top of the stream and watch that, or just hop in the Discord, it's free to get access to my college bets. We have one main play tonight, and then I'm considering it. We'll see about the that little money line sprinkle I was talking about. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. We do the show Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, so I'll be back on Friday at 3 o'clock to break down tomorrow night's NBA slate. We have some Sweet 16 action going on tomorrow night as well. So good luck with your bets tonight, guys, and I'll see you guys on Friday.